Welcome to another episode, everyone. Jarvis Butts. He was taken out in prison. He did not blank himself. The authorities put out word that Jarvis Butts, not long after his sentencing, had blanked himself. Jarvis Butts, of course, is the individual accused of impregnating his own 13-year-old niece and then unaliving her to cover up his dastardly deeds. Of course, there in prison where I have done over 30 years, individuals do not take kindly to these sorts of offenses, and your life is in immediate danger as soon as you hit the prison system for something like this. He was sentenced to, I believe, a life sentence in prison, rightfully so. Not long after his sentencing, he was found unresponsive. The authorities said, again, that he had did this to himself. But evidence points to something else more sinister happening with his very timely death. Let's see what happened with Jarvis.
Is it open season for a child predator? Who's enforcing it?
Yeah, it's open season. It ain't no cut on it. It's anybody.
I have to ask because, of course, this situation just happened, and I think we were speaking about it yesterday, but there's a guy by the name of Jarvis Butts who was found guilty for impregnating his 13-year-old niece, Naziah Harris. Of course, that was through text messages. They found out, the evidence was pretty clear that, he wasn't trying to get her pregnant, impregnated her, and then took her life. He just got found guilty, and his sentencing, of course, I believe they gave him life or something of that nature. And once he got processed, I believe within like 2 weeks at the max, maybe 3 weeks, he's found dead. They're saying he took his own life, but it could be anything.
It'll be hard for me to believe that he took his own life. He'll have to, by him just getting there in the first 2-3 weeks. What they say, he hung himself, or what they saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into it, but they're saying he was found dead, so I'm assuming hanging.
He'd have had to go through some, he would have had to get some strong ass sheets, you know what I'm saying? And I think he'd have needed a little help, depending on, I don't know what his cell arrangements look like or whatever, but it's hard to believe that he took his own life, and a person in that situation, child molester, so to speak, and I'd be willing to bet that someone got to him and took his life and did the job for him.
Yeah, what is the mentality when someone is a child molester, a child predator? What's the mentality as far as those inmates knowing a person coming in with that jacket? First of all, do y'all even know a man's jacket as he comes in?
If it's a high profile situation, you know about it, or if somebody sent a kite on him, if they know he en route to their prison. Other than that, when they make it, for the most part, if they checking paperwork, everybody got 30 days to get your paperwork in, and a lot of dudes in this situation, child molesters, they'll play for those 30 days and, and until they time up, then they're going to catch the corner pocket. But they'll enjoy those 30 days because they know that's the first and last 30. Yeah, because, they know they got to roll. They can't produce the paperwork because they know what's in the paperwork. So,
and every prison is different. This, I believe, is Hernandez Govan, and the individual that was involved. And, I think it says Govan here. Govan, this is the title. It was open season on Jarvis Butts. Like, this is him. He did not blank himself. Pedos are in real danger. That's the title. This is Prison Stories 101. Shout out to them. Shout out to this individual here. And every prison system is different. My prison system in California, again, where I did over 30 years, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so, here on the Inside Story with me, Damian Porter. And certain things are most definitely disallowed on these prison yards. Individuals coming in for a case like this stands absolutely no chance of survival. Literally, you have no chance of survival. There's no way. There's no way that you can't even go PC, protective custody. You can't even go to a 50-50 yard and get out alive for coming in there for something like this. Rest in peace to this young 13-year-old girl. This is very sickening. And this individual met the fate that he had coming, most certainly. It did not take long after his sentencing. As soon as he got in there, a couple of weeks later, he was done. Now, I don't believe myself that he took himself out, just like I don't believe that Epstein took himself out. No way. I know how these systems work, having been in there all of my life. And there are ways that individuals can get to you and get away with it. This individual, Jarvis Butts, was a prime target, a trophy. Anyone would volunteer and be happy to get their hands or their knives on that individual. So there's no way. Perhaps it was not a bloody scene. There were no stab wounds, but something else happened for sure. And he had it coming.
They'll play like the paperwork on the way, en route, or whatever the whole time. They be doing weird, odd shit, running up debts, because they know they finna check. They know they finna check in, So, they get to doing a whole lot of weird shit, in that situation.
Is it open season for a child predator?
Yeah,
who's enforcing it?
Yeah, it's open season. It ain't no cut on it. It's anybody.
Whoever just feeling the way.
Yeah, you food. You can't sit at the table. You got to sit at the independent table. If it's that type of yard. For the most, you got some yards, a couple yards in the world that will allow those type of individuals to remain on the yard, but they'll be segregated. They'll have to sit at the independent table at the cafeteria with the punks, with the other child molesters and things like that, it's
Yeah. He talking about a PC yard. That's a 50-50 yard. And he talking about where these individuals will be allowed to be on the yard, sit down, and have supper. Yeah, well, that's a 50-50 yard because they can't walk the main line. There's no way there are no yards in general population anywhere that these individuals can walk safely. They won't be able to walk they can't walk it safely, so they will not allow them to walk the yard at all. There's no way. So the yards that he's referring to where individuals are there, but hey, you just have to have your own independent table, sit over here with the whomever else, other people who are no good on the yard. But I am good, but I'm here with you on the yard, but you just have to sit over there. That's the only difference. No way. That's a 50-50. All bad.
They stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, I know they had that's one thing I never that don't get talked about enough. The independent table.
Yeah, the independent table. Yeah.
So you said the punks,
the punks, child molesters, rats. Yeah, when you known to be, one of those, you have to sit at that table. You can't sit at the table, with the rest of the homies. The Tennessee car, Georgia car, Texas car, whatever car that you supposed to be in, you can't sit at that table. At gunpoint.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's ridiculous. That's horrible. I hope he doesn't think he sounds tough by saying this. You can't sit at the table with Tennessee, Georgia. Yeah. You got to sit at your own table. You can't sit with us. Again, this is not braggadocio to necessarily compare the two to make one better than the other or more violent than the other. That's really neither here nor there. But the facts remain that in the California prison system, this is unheard of. Yes, you have individuals there who have ratted, who are gay, who are in there for SA upon a child, etc., child predators and such. Nevertheless, these individuals cannot be on the yard with the general population. They cannot be there. They would not last an hour on the yard. They are going to be viciously attacked. They're going to be killed. It's the truth. So to hear him say that they can stay on the yard, these type like a Jarvis Butts, are you kidding me? This is a PC yard. How can he stay on it? This is protective. He's talking about PC. This is unheard of. Period, man. They can stay on the yard. They just can't sit with us. Can't sit with the Georgia car. Can't sit with the Tennessee car. Whomever the hell else he named. Can't sit there with us. They can be on the yard with us, though. They just got to be up there. All of these people he named. They can be on the yard. They just got to be up here, sitting down at the table up here, and we're back here. They can't hang with us. Yeah, they can't hang with us. Man, you can't be on the yard. If you've done any of this stuff, you cannot be on the yard with anyone. You will be viciously, bloodily removed. Swiftly. Bottom line.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. When you say it's on site for any of those kind of guys, who is the person enforcing this? Like you said, I know anybody, but like, is there somebody?
So wherever
the crash outs or the lifers or?
Nah. So wherever that person got that committed that crime at, and so let's just say if that crime happened in Tennessee, whoever's over the Tennessee car, they're gonna enforce it, and they'll pick out whoever it is that they want to enforce it, and give them that assignment. And for the most part, though, you don't never go that far. They normally check in, and just go take that walk.
Do COs ever have inmates doing their dirty work?
Yeah, it happens. You get inmates, they get into it with COs all the time. Sometimes they even, I done seen fights happen, and I done seen niggas, jack off on, we call it gun them down. You know what I'm saying? Gunning a female officer down, and she catch him. And so what she'll do, she'll bring in a few cigarettes or something the next day and give it to, whatever inmate that she done set it up with, and the inmate gonna go handle their business, because a lot of female officers, they don't like that. It's kind of like some pervert type shit. Niggas be standing in the door and just be watching. You know what I'm saying? She could be sitting down at her booth, and just monitoring the unit, and you got a nigga just watching her from a whole different angle. Dick hard as the moon, jacking off. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And she just be sick, bro. You see all kind of weird shit in there.
Yeah. Now, last time you were here, and real quick, if you don't mind, did you get any feedback on the last time you was on Prison Story?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. There was a lot of people from the city. They was they subbed, and they wasn't too familiar. Of course, they familiar with Street Stars, but they wasn't too familiar with Prison Stories. So a lot of people was excited. They said it was a different field. Versus you got a lot of podcasts that's out doing hip hop, and covering out all the shit that's going on in their lane or whatever. But you got a lane of your own. So they was kind of course, I shared it when you dropped it, and so it was a lot of excitement out of Memphis.
And you did I forgot, who'd you sit down with? Was it
I sat down with OG Percy.
OG Percy, yeah, you and OG Percy.
OG Percy.
Memphis, yeah. This is Hernandez Govan, the individual involved with the Young Dolph situation and Yo Gotti and all of that. It got locked up for a while. It's been out for a while now. Yeah, this is him from Memphis. And again, the stuff he's referring to is just foreign to me.
That was a.
But do your stuff, Memphis.
For sure.
I appreciate that.
Tennessee,
we kind of have good on that one.
On that episode,
you
spoke to you stated that you spoke to a straight drop since his sentence
Yeah.
In y'all's conversation, y'all ever talk about the element in which he's in? Like, y'all speak about like just where he's housed and
he's housed in a part of Tennessee, where all our state prisons at, up there, not too far from Nashville. And but far as us talking about his mental and things like that, we don't have those conversations because he, I don't know how he feeling on the inside, but on the surface he the same drop. Yeah. He doing him. He jailing, he in jail mode.
Yeah.
And he's still fighting at the same time. And I think since my verdict, I probably done spoke with him maybe 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Or whatever, if he might reach out. I think I actually reached out to him when they started the rumor about him getting stabbed in jail.
I remember,
not too long ago, and I hit him. I said, "Bro, you all right?"
Yeah.
He hit me. He said, "Why you say that?" I said, "Man, shit, they got a little video going around saying you supposed to got stabbed or jumped in jail."
Okay. So I guess he's going to continue talking. There are other parts to this interview. But there you have it. Jarvis Butts, Hernandez Govan, believes that he was taken out. He did not blank himself. I believe that as well, one way or another. Because of these charges, there's just no way that you can survive it. I don't know how the prison system works out there. Clearly different than the prison system out here. Nevertheless, in every prison system, this is a sickening crime that is disallowed on the yard. Now, we did hear him say that some of these individuals are allowed on some of these yards, just a couple around the world where they can somehow survive amongst themselves, but just can't interact with the other regular human beings, if you will. That's foreign to me, unheard of, should never happen. They should not be allowed on any yard for any reason at any time. Period. And they're not in California. There you have it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you believe that Jarvis Butts, the sick individual who did this to this 13-year-old girl, his own niece or not, a 13-year-old girl, Zaya Harris, do you believe that he blanked himself? Well, if you don't know much about the prison system, you may believe that. But I know the ins and outs of that place. I know that stuff like this can happen, and it's made to look like you took yourself out for sure. Everyone's going to turn a blind eye. The police, everyone there is going to turn their head if you're being attacked. And you're in there for that. No one's going to care that you lost your life like no one cares that Jarvis Butts lost his life. Rest in freaking hell. Stay safe and stay free. People, rest in peace to Zaya Harris.